and welcome to the Truth Radio Show. Today is September 12th, 2014, our first show on Alternate Current Radio. And I am Dan Bidondi, your host, and this is our first show here, and we're going to be bringing you the news every week. We're going to start off with an hour here. We got another radio show also every Monday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern on freedomizerradio.com. And again, we're going to be bringing you the highlight news of the week every week here, Fridays 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern so far, and we're going to move to expand for more hours. Right now, we're trying to get the show, truthradioshow.com, expanded on all kinds of networks. We just want to get it viral. And to do that, we got to go on every network. We got to, every outlet we could possibly get. And it's thanks to you, the listeners out there, who generously donate toward the whole operation here, truthradioshow.com. And again, anybody wants to donate toward alternative media, because we don't get bank of bailouts like mainstream media. It's truthradioshow.com. And again, you, the listeners, make all this happen to build the studio, to get equipment we need, gas to get out to do reports. I mean, you see people who follow me see a lot of my reports and everything on YouTube. We got the Truth Radio Show YouTube channel, and it goes out to other channels as well, people who share my videos. But we're not looking for a handout. By all means, we're not making money on this. We're actually spending more money than we make. And the money that we do make goes into the equipment and all that. So we're trying to. Our goal is to go nationwide, to worldwide, I should say, and just to be all over the place, everywhere but anywhere where media is. We're trying to aim to do that. And without further ado, I want to get into the news. But again, first, it's our first show here on Alternating Current Radio. And before we begin this, I just want to explain to people who I am. I'm a part-time reporter for Infowars.com. I do my own stuff, as you see here. And we do news reports. This is a news show. And on another show, we interview people. We get deep into the occult, exposed in the New World Order on every level. There's many levels in the New World Order, and people out there who don't believe in the New World Order, well, do your homework. Because the last several presidents and the current president, many leaders across the planet has openly called for a New World Order. Even the Pope today, the last several popes have all supported or called for a New World Order. And, we're going to get deep into that stuff, and especially when we move to a 2-hour time slot. We got offered a 3-hour time slot, but we want to start off with an hour here on Alternating Current Radio, Alternate Current Radio, I should say. And, just to get ourselves out here to let people know who we are. And we're going to do, again, a weekly 1-hour weekly show on the highlight news of the week. And we got a lot of news to cover today. We're going to talk about ISIS, the police state, health, and we got a lot of stuff going on, technology, and total police state going on, whole tectonic technocracy taking place, and it's a lot of big words there. But anyway, we got to get the stuff out. We got to tell people the way it is, expose what is going on. Because, folks, if we don't get this news out there, because the mainstream media, they cover this, they make articles on this, and news reports and all that, but it's always that little article in the newspaper, and hell, they'll highlight something about Santa Claus coming to the mall, your local mall. It'll be a big front headline page, but that little article with the most important thing, all the NSA spying on you, that'll be a little article somewhere in the back of the newspaper. And again, they do cover it, but it's always, they limit it because they have no choice, especially now with the alternative media here. They have no choice but to cover important topics. But again, they're soft playing that. They're putting it in as a small little article or a quick blurb on the nightly news. So what we do is we take those articles, we take those stories and highlight them. Say, hey, look, folks, never mind Santa Claus coming to your mall here, folks. We got this going on. We got the NSA spying on you. Just for example. But we got ISIS. The whole fraud of ISIS. ISIS, a CIA-created organization. John McCain admitted that they fund ISIS and give them weapons. They arm ISIS. This is all on record, folks. CIA openly admits that they funded Al-Qaeda. They created Al-Qaeda. They created Bin Laden. His name was Timothy Osman under the CIA for 10 years during the 10-year war with Afghanistan and Russia. This is all on record. They brag about this, but you talk about it, you're a conspiracy theorist. And again, we got a lot of news to cover, so I want to dive into the news quick here because there's so much stuff going on, and it might sound like we're all over the place, folks, but we try to separate the news into different categories. Miscellaneous news, all the news in the health, the technocracy, the police state and such, because there's so much going on. We could be here for 6 hours and we'd never be able to tell you the news of the week, all of it. So we try to limit and highlight the most important things that are going on or stuff you should be very aware about. And, without further ado, let's dive right into it. And you got Facebook now bans gun owners, but allows kitten torture videos on Facebook. But they ban anything to do with guns. And this is reported by Kit Daniels, Infowars.com. And yes, we read a lot of Infowars articles. Now, people say, oh, it's Infowars. No, but you don't understand. Infowars, they tell the truth, first of all. Second of all, they got many hyperlinks where you could go to the source itself and find out, hey, this is true stuff. And this is what the media is reporting, but they elaborate on it to say, hey, they're not telling you this, that, and the other thing, which is heavy research that these reporters do. I mean, I work for Infowars part-time, and I know all the guys at Infowars. They're 24/7, even at home, they're researching stuff. And like before they write out an article or come up with a report, they do heavy research into it to find the government documents or some kind of a document that's related to that. And they got all the related links on the articles. So again, Infowars.com is a one-stop news shop because they get news from all over the place and expand on it. And again, Facebook bans gun owners, allows kitten torture video. And Facebook has no problem with the kitten torture video on its site, but when Facebook users talk about guns, the social media giant will censor them with zeal. And it figures, to do with the Second Amendment, they have a problem with. But hell, you could torture people, you could torture kids, there's tons of those videos, and you could torture animals. But that's okay. But, honor your Second Amendment. Hell, you're a terrorist. And recently a video was posted on Facebook showing two men lighting a helpless kitten in a bucket on fire, but after multiple users flagged the video, Facebook told them it doesn't violate our community standards. But hell, without going deep into the article here, and it says, I was going through Facebook and I saw this video, said Karen Donoel told the Daily Mail. I clicked it and watched it and it was disgusting. And basically, again, it's okay for that. It doesn't violate Facebook the community standards, I'm sorry. But, you post stuff about guns, we're going to flag you. We're going to block you, too. I don't know how many times, multiple times, I had to fight for my Facebook's back. I had to contact Facebook to say, hey, listen, give me my Facebook back. I'm not violating nothing. People report you as a fake account, even though I'm a well-known person in the media. But they'll, say it's a fake account and such, and all kinds of things. I mean, I got my Facebook shut down so many times, I had to fight it. And so far, I had good luck with YouTube so far, knock on wood. But the thing is, they want to censor everybody. That's their problem. And you got a U.S. spy chief endorses bill that would limit the NSA's powers, the National Security Administration. And one of the most prominent supporters of the National Security Agency, has unexpectedly thrown his support behind legislation aimed at curtailing the U.S. government's bulk collection of American phone records. And there's big scandals over this. I mean, even the mainstream media had no choice to admit, yes, the NSA is spying on you. I mean, that all came out. That's all on record now. It's not a conspiracy no more. And the stuff we've been telling you for years, we got labeled conspiracy theorists over. Now it's all on record. But you know what? It's just disgusting. And they say it's for national security to spy on you, the American citizen, when we got a Bill of Rights that protects us from that. It's called the Fourth Amendment. But it's all right for them to violate your Fourth Amendment, but if you post something on Facebook about guns, you got to be labeled as a terrorist. Or, many Facebook posts, people who posted things about 9/11 and such, they had the feds knocking at the door. What are you doing posting about 9/11? Even though it's true. And that's a First Amendment issue right there. And again, U.S. spy chief endorses bill that would limit the NSA's power. Del Cameron from the Daily Dot reports this. On Wednesday, Senator Patrick Leahy, he's a Democrat from Vermont, shared a letter from Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, co-signed by U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, voicing his approval of the USA Freedom Act. And the letter reads, we're not going to get into all the letter, but basically in the letter, this again, 94wars.com, you can find this article. And excuse me for mispronouncing the words. It's hard to see sometimes with all the lights in your face. And you're looking up at the camera and you got all the lights blasting your face and you look down and it's like little sunspots in the letter. So you think the word says one thing when it's like there's more to the word. So we deal with that frequently here. We're trying to get the professional lighting. That's why I'm trying to raise money on truthradioshow.com for the correct equipment that we need. And we're still dealing with little kinks of different issues and all that. But you know what? And the thing is, it's always not always the messenger, but it's the message. You know what I mean? And again, excuse the mispronunciation of words. Sometimes it's just hard to see, because they're due to the lighting in your face. But, you got a U.S. spy chief endorses bill that would limit the NSA's power. Now, we need more people like this. More people to come out to say, hey, you know what? Let's stop the... No, they might limit them. Stop them. Stop them completely because they have no business going into our emails, our phone records, or anything in our computers. It's just horrible. Now you have the Department of Justice memo. President has constitutional authority for dragnet surveillance. And it's just discussing. The Obama administration wants everyone to know that it claims the power to conduct dragnet surveillance of American phone records and that is not going to bother revealing the source of that authority. And the administration has released another redacted version of the May 2014 Department of Justice, the DOJ, memo approving the National Security Agency's NSA's Stellarwind program. An earlier, more heavy redacted version of the document has been released in 2011. And again, the Department of Justice is by Joe Wolverton of the New American, and that's a pretty cool site. They got a lot of good articles too. And again, the Department of Justice, President has a constitutional authority for dragnet surveillance. No, he does not. That's a Fourth Amendment violation. For them to say that, that's a total contradiction of the Fourth Amendment. Illegal search and seizures, that's anything you own. Okay, that's a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. It is not a constitutional authority for the president to do that. It's not. I don't care what these people say. I don't care what the lawyers say. The Constitution, it's called the Bill of Rights. Maybe you heard of it. Okay? That protects us from these illegal searches. And I don't know how many times these government goons or these people, these so-called experts in the mainstream media and such, find a little way out of it to say, oh, no, it's not a constitutional violation, but okay, it's okay for them to do that. Because they're the government, they could do whatever they want. No, it's not okay. It's supposed to be small government, the people big. That's the way the Founding Fathers intended it. And you got Daily Mail from Ali Gilman reporting, finding the God particle could destroy the universe, warns Stephen Hawking. And the elusive God particle discovered by scientists in 2012 has the potential to destroy the universe, said Professor Stephen Hawking has warned. And at very high energy levels, the Higgs boson could cause space and time suddenly collapse, and we couldn't see it coming, the former Cambridge professor of mathematics says. The God particle, which gives the shape and size of everything that exists, could cause a catastrophic vacuum delay if scientists were to put it under the extreme stress. But the thing is, find the God particle. God has control of the universe, period. God controls the universe, period. So for them to say we found a God particle, it's not even proven. There's not even no science backing that. So I don't know, Stephen Hawking, this guy is a complete moron. And dares to call himself a scientist. He's a poor excuse for a scientist. You're talking about a guy who believes in evolution. Now, real scientists don't believe in evolution. They know he has to, even the ones that don't believe in God, they know it has to be a grand architect. You need a blueprint. If you need a blueprint for a simple like this, a pen, to make it work fully functional, you need a blueprint and people to put it together to make it fully functional. This pen doesn't happen by chance. Now your eyeball is more complex than New York, Los Angeles, and Tokyo put together. So you got to tell me, we could all agree you need a blueprint and an architect to create something as a pen, but we don't need a blueprint and architect to create something as an eyeball. That's only one member of the human body. And this guy, Stephen Hawking, this guy comes up with these cockamanian measurements. Oh, billions of light years old, we're 15 billion years old or whatever. Where do they come up with these numbers from? How do they know that? Were we here for that? When human records only date back 6,000, 7,000 years, that's it. I mean, you got these crackpots who dare to call themselves scientists because they got master degrees in universities. It doesn't mean diddly squat. Okay, it's called common sense. Real science knows that this is not true. How do you measure from here to a star? Oh, well, it's by light years. How do you know that's even accurate? They say, the image of the Milky Way galaxy, everybody sees that image. That's not what our galaxy looks like. Nobody knows what our galaxy looks like. They only estimate it because our closest galaxy, which they don't even know that should be the truth, but Andromeda. That's, the exact shape of Andromeda, the Milky Way galaxy. And they think it looks like that. For all we know, it could be a giant star or a giant triangle. Nobody knows. And to send a space probe out of that galaxy far enough, not just out of it, but far enough to take a picture of the whole galaxy, it would take hundreds of years. And the probe would have to be traveling at the speed of light. Hundreds of years to even get outside far enough to even take a picture, then, to even see the whole galaxy in whole. So how the hell they know what the galaxy looks like? How do they know that we're 50 million light years away from the center of the galaxy? Nobody knows how big the galaxy is. It's, this is the stupidity of these so-called scientists who dare to call themselves scientists. It's retarded. It really is. And these people have no clue of reality. They live in this box, this limitation of what they call science. It's not science, first of all. It's just called, I want to be God. I want to be right. There's no such thing as God. The state is God. We're here by chance, which is all cockamamie and lie. But we do got to go to a break, and that's our first break and our first show here. When we come back, we're going to get into health. We got more news, and we got to try to skip to it because we run out of time so much, and we never get to all the news. But anyway, I'll be right back here on Truth Radio on AlternateRadio.com. And welcome back to the Truth Radio Show with your host, Dan Bidondi, on Alternate Current Radio. I think I keep calling it Alternating Current. No, it's Alternate Current Radio. It's our first show here, and we just broadcast on a couple different networks. I'm always on other people's shows, so it's sometimes hard to remember the full names of different things. But anyway, the scientist Steve Hawkins, the guy is a lunatic. If anybody sit there and actually believe the stuff he says, I believe Walt Disney's fairy tales more than Stephen Hawking, and people dare to call this guy intelligent, and they feel bad for him. Whatever, I don't know, whatever. It's ridiculous. But we're gonna zip through the news here. Tax-free Second Amendment weekend sends guns and ammo sales surge in 600%. Mississippi and Louisiana saw gun sales surge through September 5th through the 7th, as both states held a tax-free Second Amendment weekend. Again, yeah, that's great. Great news. I think all states should do this, and I think Americans should arm up to the teeth. Go buy tons of ammo, and yes, I'm endorsing it. Buy tons of ammo, buy all the guns you want and need, because, folks, we got things like ISIS that our government creates. They want to send over here so they could use it as an excuse to take your weapons away and your civil liberties. But you know what? We got to defend ourselves, folks. We got to defend our borders. The government's not doing it. We got to defend ourselves against groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS, which is CIA created. In other words, we got to defend ourselves against our own tyrannical government, as the Second Amendment was created for, to protect ourselves not only from criminals, but a tyrannical government. And you got Pope Francis and Shimon Peres discussed the establishment of a United Nations of Religions. And we're going to get into that at the Monday show, really deep into that. And we're going to talk about that more at that show. And that's on freedomizerradio.com, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can check all the listings, folks, of our shows, truthradioshow.com. But, folks, Pope Francis, as I made a big report about that. This guy, I believe 99% he is the false prophet, not the Antichrist. The Antichrist is false prophet that leads the world into one world religion and declares whoever this Antichrist is to be God. And this guy's fulfilling all the prophecies of what the Antichrist's false prophet is supposed to be. So, you could do all the research, folks. This guy's a Jesuit. The Jesuit orders are a very evil society. They're the ones who created evolution. They're the ones who created atheism. They're the ones who created the low-level occults, most of them. They're the ones behind the CIA, MI6, and all these other intelligence agencies. They're the ones ultimately behind groups like ISIS as well. And why do you think nothing ever happens in Rome? Why do you think these so-called terrorist groups, Muslim groups, never attack Rome or the Vatican? Because they control it all. And we're gonna get way more into that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's all Illuminati, New World Order controlled. And you got firefighter ordered to remove American flag stickers days before 9/11. Don Salazar from Infowars.com reports days prior to the 13th anniversary of 9/11 attacks, several firefighters from Chicago suburb were suspended after refusing to adhere to a controversial mandate issued by the station's fire chief. You serve a community, by hell, you can't display your American flag. And on Tuesday, 4 Maywood firefighters revealed they had been suspended for displaying patriotic stickers on the helmets and lockers. And it's just ridiculous. And then South goes on Infowars.com. We just got to move along here. And again, that's the freedom of speech. And they say, oh, no, but it's an employee, because I'm going through that one of my jobs. I work at this place, Electric Boat. They built submarines for the Navy. I had bumper stickers on my car. They didn't like it. So they're like, oh, you have to remove the stickers. No, that's my property. And I got suspended out of work from that. And it's just disgusting. And quick headlines here. You got top Russia expert warns Ukraine joining NATO would provoke nuclear war. That's Washington blog. Over 100 teens swarm Memphis Plaza, knocking out shoppers. That was reported by THV11. And centerfold senator wants to strip you of your citizenship. That's Scott Brown. He's running for Senate, but this time in New Hampshire. He went from Massachusetts to New Hampshire now. And this guy is a pure globalist scum. And you got patriotic acts observed new spawn just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. And this is from Marcy Wheeler from Salon. And they're talking about the Department of Justice here. Congress may be preparing to reinforce two horrible FISA, F-I-S-A, court decisions in an abusive government search with no debate in the coming weeks. And this is all on Infowars.com. You can find these articles. But we got to move on to the next section, because the thing is, I get into these rants and all that, and I get deep into the subject. Just one article alone, I could be here for 10 minutes showing related issues and talking about things that relate to it. And that's what our other show on freedomizeradio.com focuses on. But we're going to bring that here on Alternate Current Radio. So we just want to get a feet wet here at Alternate Current Radio. And again, listings and everything else, our donation page, truthradioshow.com. And let's get into some health news. And I call it eugenics news, because exactly what it is. I call it for what it is. Eugenics is today's Agenda 21. But you got school labels, and this is a nanny state now. School labels, chapstick, over-the-counter drug, demand students to bring a doctor's note for chapstick. Michael Fallon, a good friend of mine on Infowars.com, he writes this article. An elementary school student in Virginia is working to reverse a school board policy that has banned students from using lip balm. And I want to say one thing. A policy, I don't care if you're a business owner or you run a school or whatever, a policy is not a law. Your policy doesn't trump civil liberty. All right, civil liberty is the Constitution trumps your laws. You know that, right? And in certain involved, a policy is not a law. A law is a law. A policy is not. You can state a policy all day long, but it doesn't mean it's the law. And an elementary school student in Virginia was working to reverse this policy at the school Sept. The student, 11-year-old Grace Carafa, says she was denied chapstick shortly before her lips began bleeding during school last week. And she was told she couldn't use it, Carafa told News Virginian. And later that day, the lips started to bleed, so she asked for chapstick again and was told that it was against school policy for elementary kids to have chapstick. And I guess she started a petition. She's got more than 236 signatures. And anybody who lives in Virginia there, go support this girl. This is stupid. Well, chapstick? So what are they going to stop next? I mean, what are you going to wear a helmet to school? You got to wear knee pads? It's totally ridiculous. It really is. And WPRI Channel 12, the dumbed down TV station here in Rhode Island, the biggest one at that, and they're reporting that students' immunizations changing soon in Rhode Island. And we're going to get to a deep report about this. I'm going to actually go front half these people. In Providence, Rhode Island, more Rhode Island school children will soon have to brave the prick of a needle. Eyewitness News has learned several immunizations that were recommended for many years will soon become required. Again, they say it's a policy, but it is not a law. Chapter 25 of the United States Federal Code, it's called religious exemption. And they also get into the article here because I watched a report on this. You go to WPRI.com, students' immunizations changing soon in Rhode Island. Watch the video. They do state, yes, you can use religious exemptions, but there's got to be consequences. It's basically saying, hey, you got to get them. You got to get the immunizations or you're not going to school. That's exactly what they're trying to tell you. And, we're going to put a stop to this, folks. And they're doing this. They did this here in Rhode Island with the medical workers. They try to force, I think it got shot down eventually, but they try to force all people in the health industry to take the vaccines. That's the flu shot and such. And speaking of that, you got a mysterious EVD68 vaccinated children could be more vulnerable. So they're saying the vaccinated children could be more vulnerable to this mysterious EV-D68 disease. And this is reported by Inquestor.com. The mysterious virus known as EV-D68 has spread across the Midwest at a rapid rate. Many children have been hospitalized with the virus, about 475 in Kansas City alone. And there was no known vaccine to lessen the effects of the virus or protect those that have yet to acquire it. And why don't you see this all over the mainstream media? But hell, they're reporting about Joan Rivers' death. I mean, the poor girl, 78, 82 years or whatever she is, God bless her, she's dead. But they want to keep lingering on that. And, instead of get to the more important issues like these here, but you know what? It's people, again, don't take the vaccines. I did a report on that with the Ebola virus too. They're going to try to push a vaccine on people. They're doing this here in the Midwest here. So people, whatever the disease is, do not take the vaccines. And just like the H1N1, when they did the beta test, that's all it was, to see how many people take the vaccine. More people on record died from the vaccination than the actual disease. And they didn't tell you all you had to do is have a healthy immune system and the disease would have went away. Like a cold. It just would have went away. Now you got how the U.S. government admits vaccines cause autism. And that's John Rappaport, Infowars.com. Some more headline news. Obesity rates reach historic high in more U.S. states. NBC News reports. BP may be fined up to $18 billion for oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. And we talked about that. In this news here, the highlight news we talked about Monday on a show on Freedomizer Radio. But Ebola deaths past 2,000 as Liberia, shuts down contaminated police station in Sierra Leone's capital crumbles. And, this is the highlighted news that we talked about. And, folks, this stuff, the Ebola virus is just getting worse. Now they got a new disease out there, EVD68. Just got to be aware of. And we're moving close to the end of this final, the second segment. And our final segment, we're going to get into the police state. So I'm going to try to rush through the next set of news here. We call it technology news, basically Big Brother. And you got New York City approves sensors to pinpoint gunfire. And this is, I call this technocracy because it's a technocracy surveillance state. They want to spy on you. And you got New York City approves sensors to pinpoint gunfire. The Associated Press reports this. New York City's controller has approved a contract for rooftop sensor technology for the New York Police Department to pinpoint and reduce gunfire. Controller Scott String approved the contract for Shot Spotter Flex system on Monday. The technology will pinpoint the exact location of a gunshot, allowing officers to quickly respond. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't I know, last time guns were forbidden in New York? Only criminals have guns? So why not arm the citizens so criminals won't get away with it? But you know what? It's not about finding criminals. It's nothing about that. It's about spying on the people. They got the IntelliStreetLights, IntelliStreetLights.com, I think it is. Google it. IntelliStreetLights, I'm sorry. And it has all the technology in the damn light pole. Wi-Fi, they spy on you, listen to you, what you're saying. This is all part of the same agenda. And you got hackers use police spy tool to steal nude celebrity photos. I mean, this has been going on since the TSA violated the airports. They hijacked the airports, I should say. And this is Russia Today reporting. The major leak of nude celebrity photos last week was made possible by software designed to let law enforcement lift data from iPhones with ease. The software is used in tandem with a tool made public recently that can track Apple iCloud passwords. And we warned about iCloud. We're going to get into that. Well, actually, Alex Jones warned about the iCloud. It's a spy system altogether. And according to Wired, hackers talk openly on the anonymous image forum Anon-IB about the use of EPPB. It's Elcom Soft phone password breaker to download data from iCloud storage backups. Well, we know the iCloud is a joke. I mean, people could easily hack that, and the government just uses that to monitor what you have. Photos, pictures, videos, whatever, and emails, whatever they want to put on the iCloud. But again, hackers are using. Well, they're saying hackers are using it. Then again, they're going after Anon, anonymous, to say, oh, yeah, they're hacking in. The thing is, most of these people I know in Anon, they're against the federal spying. But it's okay though. It's okay for the NSA to do it, but nobody else could do it. Even though Anonymous uses it for good purposes. But it's okay for the NSA to spy on you, the average citizen that doesn't know nothing at all. And you got fake cell phone towers, origins and true purposes revealed. And this is Michael Fallon, Infowars.com. He did a whole story, several articles on these fake cell phone towers. And we're going to get into that. We're going to interview Michael Fallon Monday on freedomizerradio.com, again, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And check the listings on truthradioshow.com. Michael Fallon from Infowars.com. We're going to talk all about the cell phone towers. And we're going to save these articles for that to get into exactly what's going on. Yeah, these towers, you drive down the highway and you see all these cell phone things attached to them. Well, folks, they're for spy purposes. They're fake cell phone towers. And again, Michael Fallon from Infowars.com. Mikhail Fallon, I'm sorry. And now you got Bush-era memos. Presidents can wiretap Americans at all times. And this is related to the article we just talked about earlier about presidents. They're saying the president has the constitutional authority, which he does not. And it says, President can wiretap Americans at all times. Agents France Press reports this. And the U.S. Justice Department has released 2 memos detailing the Bush administration's legal justification for monitoring the phone calls and emails of Americans without a warrant. Again, you hear that? Without a warrant. What happened to the Fourth Amendment? Did it die? The last I know, it was still there in the Bill of Rights. Did they take that away? Well, to them they did, but to us, I mean, people need to enforce the Fourth Amendment. And the documents released Friday, last Friday, they relate to the secret program dubbed Stellar Wind that began after September 11th. And it's a project called Stellar Wind. I mean, people need to research that. And you got an exclusive mystery of rogue cell phone towers discovered. And again, Michael Fallon reporting on this. Recent reports on rogue cell phone towers being used across the country to intercept mobile cell phone data is drawing a response from federal agents who claim the towers are not being used by law enforcement groups, which they are. They're being used not only for law enforcement, but to spy on you, the American people. And again, we're going to interview Mikhail Fallon on a show Monday. Again, truthradioshow.com to check the listings. And again, it's going to be on Freedom Radio. And I hope I don't conflict with the stations here because I know it's a lot of competitors, whatever, but we're all alternative media, so hopefully all is forgiven, whatever, for now it's different stations. But I'm glad to be here on Alternate Current Radio. I mean, it's a great station. I mean, a lot of viewers already, a lot of listeners, I should say, already on the station. And we're doing our broadcast here on YouTube as well for those who missed the show. But we're coming up to a break, and we'll be right back on Truth Radio Show with the Police State. And this is Dan Bidondi. And welcome back to our final segment of the Truth Radio Show here on Alternate Current Radio. Again, check us out every Friday on Alternate Current Radio here, 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern, and our show on Freedomizer Radio every Monday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And again, we're going to be expanded on Alternate Current Radio here. We're going to start off for a couple weeks with 1 hour. We're going to probably move to 2-3 hours and more days a week at that. We're just trying to get things in order. And I don't mean to sound like a false preacher, folks, because I expose these people all the time, especially the religions. I'm a Bible believing believer in God, Jesus Christ, Yeshua Messiah, but I do expose the false religions who rob people of their money, use the Bible to do that and for control. But I don't mean to sound like any of these people because I'm over here, please donate, please donate. The thing is, this stuff costs a lot of money just to print articles. I go through so much paper, and as anybody knows who even works in the office, whatever, this stuff costs a lot of money, ink, everything else, and it's not only that, it's the gas to get out to the reports, the money for the equipment to keep up with it, the streaming, to pay for the radio slots on the shows there. It's a lot of money involved. And I have to work a full-time day job just to even, survive. And I want to do this for a living someday, but you know what? Right now, we're putting money into this, and we're trying to expand. We got reporters from all over the country who are donating the time to help this station out, to help Truth Radio Show out to get bigger. And hopefully someday I'll be able to pay these guys, and we could all do this for a living. Not that we want to make millions of dollars, no, but we want to be able to support our families and bring the truth out there, bring the news to you people every day of the week. We want our goal is to have a daily radio show. We want to try to get syndicated and all that, and also a nightly news show. But it will not conflict with the InfoWars shows. I already made a statement to Alex Jones about that. It would never conflict with his show or the nightly news show. It would be before or after his radio show, or before or after his nightly news show. And I urge everybody to watch it. Alex Jones, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern every day on Infowars.com. You can listen to it on one of the syndicated shows, the stations, I'm sorry. And the nightly news show, it's I believe is 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern every night, every weekday night. Well, tune into them. Great reporters, Jakari Jackson, Darren McBreen, McCall Fallon, John Bound, Rob Doon, all these great guys. We had them on that show with recent channels we've been on, but we're going to bring them back again when we, get the show bigger here on Alternate Current Radio. We're going to have InfoWars reporters and such, and all kinds of big top-name guests on the show here. And we got, again, McCall Fallon on a show Monday, 6 to 9 p.m. on Freedomizer Radio, where we're gonna interview him about these fake cell phone towers and the true nature of them. Then we're going to get to deeper depth about Project Woodpecker and the Tesla technology that they use for mind control and stuff, and they use these towers as well to expand that. And we're going to get into all that. And that's all on record. That's not even exaggerating. If you don't think mind control is real, folks, go to Google, the National Archives, type in HR 2977, the Space and Preservation Act. In the document, talks about mind control, the weapons. And it was supposed to protect us from that, but the bill never passed, because it was supposed to protect us from that such stuff. But anyway, we got to move on. The show goes by quick. And it was a little bit of ISIS news before I get into the police state. ISIS declares war on Twitter. The CIA's ISIS, I should say, declares war on Twitter. This is from the Daily Mail reporting. An ISIS-affiliated group has threatened to assassinate Twitter employees that close down their accounts. And this is from Mia Graff. She's a reporter for the Daily Mail. And user link to the extremist tweeted a series of messages on Sunday urging lone wolves in the U.S. and Europe to make the firm their target. Well, the thing is, we know the CIA. We know the CIA is behind ISIS. John McCain again admitted that they arm ISIS. They admitted it. But, the thing is, let them bring it on. They know. That's why there's not stuff going on here. They can get what they're shooting up people, even in the UK. They're killing people all over the Middle East. Why? Why? The only reason why? Because of gun control. They took the guns away from the citizens. They know there's over 200 million Americans here, all armed. And the average, I think, average gun owners, they said about 3 or 4 guns now, at least. So they know they got a hell of a war ahead of them. That's why the government's not even pulling the plug for martial law right now, because they know they have to disarm the American citizens to do that. Because they know 200 million Americans. We have more guns. If you ask who's the world's strongest standing army, the world's strongest standing army, I should say, it's not China, folks. It's us, the American people. And they know that. The globalists know that. They openly declare all the time they need to disarm us. But us Americans fighting for our Second Amendment, that's the only thing. The Second Amendment, and that's the only mistake that was in the Constitution that the founding fathers made. The only mistake is that the Second Amendment should have been the first, because without the Second Amendment, you wouldn't have the rest. And that's exactly the only mistake that they made in that document. And you got Dick Cheney urges Republicans to take hardline military stance against ISIS. Paul Lewis from The Guardian reported former Vice President Dick Cheney met behind closed doors with Republican members of Congress on Tuesday to urge them to adopt more muscular military posture in the Middle East. And I can move on here. Time goes by so fast. Obama's ISIS war. That's right, it's Obama's ISIS war. Profit from military contractors. And Kurt Nimmo reports this from Infowars.com. And again, Eisenhower warned us about the misplaced use of power of the military-industrial complex. That was his farewell address, President Eisenhower. Well, you're seeing that happening now. I mean, these warmongering presidents, the Bushes, the Obamas, the Clintons, warmongering scum. That's what they are. And they love to promote war. Obama promotes war, but wins a Nobel Peace Prize. That's so prophetic. It really is. George Orwell, 1984, war is peace. And exactly what you're seeing here. They're preaching war and they get a peace prize. How about that? And moving on, we got some headline news on ISIS. Palmieri Silva, 82-year-old woman beheaded in the London Garden. That was BBC News that reported that. Border Patrol buys body armor capable of stopping AK-47 rounds amid ISIS's threat. And Kit Daniels reports from Infowars about that. You got man crosses U.S. border dressed as ISIS terrorist, simulates beheading. That was Infowars' new reporter. He's an awesome reporter. Joe Biggs crossed the U.S. border from Mexico dressed as ISIS militant to illustrate how easy it is for anyone to get into America, despite the warning that Islamic State terrorists are plotting to carry out attacks on homeland from their base in Jaraz. And you got proof. FBI says Americans more dangerous than ISIS invasion. And an FBI presentation in recent Georgia business meetings claimed that the homegrown extremists are more dangerous than Islamic State or ISIS's terrorist group. And there you go again, folks. I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's totally absurd that the FBI is saying, again, that's a MIAC report, Homeland Security's Endgame, Project Megiddo from the FBI saying that you, the American people, are more dangerous than Al-Qaeda. More dangerous than ISIS now, which is the new Al-Qaeda, the new boogeyman in the closet. Obama's long ISIS war, it will take years to kill thousands. Kill thousands. Well, no kidding. It's going to kill thousands of people. And it'll take years because it's all staged that way. And you got Syrian rebel commander, yes, we're still collaborating with ISIS, reports Infowars' Mikhail Fallon. Don't bomb ISIS, Eric Mongolius reports from Lou Rockwell. Washington, D.C., we've got to stop ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Syria, Assad, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Taliban, which the CIA created. Don't tell anybody the CIA created them. But we got to stop them because they pose a terrorist threat to our country. And Obama considers going after ISIS as public opinion tide turns in favor of ISIS. Kurt Nimmo reports that on Infowars.com. And, it's just so much propaganda, because what happened was Al-Qaeda was starting to get old. Oh, Al-Qaeda did this, Al-Qaeda did that. People were getting wise to Al-Qaeda. So with the CIA and these military-industrial complex and the government say, hey, you know what, we need to come up with a new boogeyman, because, hell, the American people are waking up. And as you can see, Rasmussen polls showed that I think it was 74% of Americans don't trust Republicans or Democrats no more. The independent voters actually starting to climb now. And more people stop not even voting anymore. The voting turnouts are even dropping every election. There's less and less people voting out because they're aware of the fraud. So, regardless of what you mainstream media morons think, all right, people are waking up. Okay, regardless of what you government officials believe, people are waking up. As Hillary Clinton admitted, you're losing the information war, and that you are, because alternative media is kicking your asses. And we got about 7 minutes left in the show. And I just want to... this stuff, like the police state, really disgusts me. I mean, I could be here for hours ranting about it. But New York police harvest innocent cell users data tracked to flag vandals. And Mikhail Fallon, Infowars reports, he's been coming out with so many great articles lately, Mikhail Fallon. I mean, this guy is great, and Alex did a great thing by hiring him. New York Police Department is scanning through thousands of innocent cell users. And again, New York, there should be, New York should change its flag from the Big Apple to the Big SWAT sticker, because exactly what they're doing there. Scanning through thousands of innocent cell users' data in order to find evidence related to the mysterious appearance of 2 white flags on top of the Brooklyn Bridge last week. And law enforcement sources speaking with the New York Daily News confirmed the use of controversial technique known as tower dump, which allows officers to obtain all call, text, and data transmissions through cell towers during any specific time. Investigators could find names through cell phones in which those involved made calls while near Brooklyn Bridge in wee hours of Tuesday. The article briefly mentions cops are analyzing data from 2 nearest cell phone towers. Again, another Fourth Amendment violation. It doesn't matter. What people say, oh, they're using it to get criminals. Well, it doesn't matter. It's the thing called the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. That applies for everyone. And it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. That's the way it's supposed to work. This ain't Minority Report. And now you got a man arrested for filming militarized police raid. I saw this video. It just makes my blood boil. Paul Joseph Watson reports on Infowars. An Oregon man was arrested for filming a militarized police raid in his neighborhood after cops accused him of interfering with their operation by recording the incident on an iPad from across the street. He was standing on his own property recording across the street, and they came over. "Oh, shut your camera off." He goes, "No, it's my property." And the video is on Infowars.com. He refused to, and they arrested him. First Amendment violation. Why we're seeing this, folks, First and Fourth Amendment violations are being broken. I mean, almost every story now. And the Pentagon is giving grenade launches to campus police. That's right, you heard that right. Campus police are being given grenade launches by the Pentagon. Reports Vice News' Hannah Gold. In 1968, students at Columbia University staged a mass uprising. Other colleges, campuses, and protests, and not just the war in Vietnam, but the school's collaboration with the Institute for Defense Analysis, a Department of Defense affiliate that researches weapons technology. Today, weapons are produced by the Institute, are used by the U.S. military throughout the world, and by campus police force across the country. Campus police forces across the country. The war has come home. See, the lights get in your eyes and you see these blotches, so it's sometimes it's hard to read the words because of the blotches and it's the sunspots in your eyes. But the Pentagon's 1033 program, which allows defense departments to unload excess military weapons, federalizing all the local police departments, give them MRAPs, all kinds of body armor, and it looks like when you take pictures of this or you look at it, it looks like you're in Iraq. They're in top gear, military gear, for what? Look at Ferguson. That alone should say enough. But now the Pentagon's giving grenade launches to campus police because college kids are so dangerous. Because they protest with a sign, they're so dangerous. So you shouldn't even give them grenade launches. Give them rocket launches because they're so dangerous with they're going to kill somebody with that First Amendment. So, never mind Pentagon. Don't give them grenade launches. Give them rocket launches. Hell, give them Stinger missiles, all right? And claymores. How about that? Idiots, man. That's evasion of posse comitatus. They know that, so they federalize the local police departments to justify that. And half these cops are, good people, but the other half can't wait to use this equipment. They'll use any excuse available, anything to justify the use of this military equipment. And you got aggressive police take hundreds of millions of dollars from motorists not charged with crimes. And this is reported from the Washington Post. And after terror attacks on September 11th, the government called on police to become the eyes and ears of Homeland Security on America's highways. So if you see somebody driving down the road with a garrison flag on your car, you better pull him over because you could be a terrorist, according to the Mayak report. And there's more on that in Infowars.com. We just got to move along. We'll run out of time here. School cops across Texas receiving military surplus gear. And as we just stated, they're federalizing all the local police departments. And Don Salazar from Infowars reports law enforcement units Police in public schools in Texas have acquired tons of used military gear, including M16 rifles, armored vehicles, and scores of high-capacity magazines, all in alleged efforts to keep students safe. To keep students safe, but that one student gets out of control because he disobeys his teacher, we're going to use an M16 rifle on you, kid. And you got to like it. It's totally disgusting. And you got video of a man who stands up for the Constitution as cops detain him for sitting outside of his own home. Actually, we just saw a report about that. I think I printed the article up twice. And but anyway, and that happens all the time anyway. So there's always somebody recording the police and they get in trouble for it. And you got TSA protects the public from a paperweight. They deserve an award for this because some guy had a paperweight that was, it's a fake grenade. It's just a piece of metal. It's not even a real grenade. It was a paperweight. This is a report by Don Salazar, Infowars.com. So TSA, you deserve an award for protecting our public from a paperweight. You're doing your job. So go stick your hands down everybody's pants and they're going to love it. Disgusting. And new police compliance weapon blinds target. Paul Justice Watson Infowars reports a firm that provides non-lethal equipment to law enforcement is set to release a new compliance weapon. It's temporary blinds targets for up to 15 minutes. It's like a flash grenade almost, and it's more on Infowars.com about that. We run out of time, so a city, quick highlights here. City used high-tech tracking software at 13 Boston Calling, more technocracy, and Senate hearing to examine militarization of local police. So they're going to examine this. Why is the military giving all this military-style weapons to the police departments? Well, the Pentagon at that. They're going to examine that, and I hope something comes out of that. And the grand jury to probe Georgia raid that injured a baby. And the grand jury determined deputies involved with the injured toddler could face criminal charges, and I hope they do. But we're going to run out of time here, folks. We'll be back next week at 10 p.m. Eastern. And again, catch our show this Monday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Freedomizer Radio. Check our listings out at truthradioshow.com. And thank you for listening to the Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi right here on Alternate Current Radio. And we will see you next week. God bless.